y'all, what's up? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. The kids are home and they are home for a whole week. I don't know what is going on with the school system, but when I was in school, I believe we went to school Monday and Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, and then we're out the rest of the week. But they have been out the whole week, and close the door, Edie. Yeah, so they are out the whole week, and if I'm not mistaken, they're out Monday. I have to double check that, but we are all adjusting to being together all day long, 24 hours a day for 7 days a week. It is an adjustment. No free time, so I had to put my foot down, say Mama needs a few minutes to go and record. Do not disturb. Anyway, so today's video is going to be Christmas reads, holiday reads, whatever you'd like to call them. Now, normally I am one of those people who I do not like Christmas reads. I don't like holiday reads normally because for me personally, they are all the same story, different characters, all the same premises, just different settings. And so I'm just not big on it. I'm not big on it. Like, if anything, I'll watch a Hallmark movie if I want a cheesy romance that I can predict and foresee, the ending or what's coming. But I decided this year to give it another try, to do a little bit of digging and see if I can find Christmas/holiday books that interest me, that are not your typical, I don't want to say corny, not your typical just kind of rom-com holiday grumpy to sunshine type of read. So I am pretty impressed with my list and hope that you can pick one or two from my list. If you're like me and you're like, I stay away from Christmas books, holiday books, they're so cheesy, they're all the same. Hopefully my list will help a girl or guy out who's like me and willing to give it another try. So here we go. Let's dive into it. I do want to say that most of these, I think except for one, are going to be KU. They're going to be on my Kindle. I will not be purchasing any holiday reads. They are seasonal. It's the same reason that I don't purchase like a lot of, let's say, Christmas sweaters or Easter shirts or outfits and things like that, because they are seasonal. I like to get a bang for my buck, so I want to wear it or be able to use it as much as possible, not one time out the year. Now, I know with books you can read them at any point, but I am a mood reader and I will most definitely only be reading a Christmas read or a holiday read during that season. So I will not be purchasing these unless one is just like, oh, this is so good, I have to have it on my shelf. So the good thing about it, like I said, I found a lot of these on KU, so I don't have to spend any money on books that I may not like. However, it is a taste test, so that if I do like it, if I like it that much, I can purchase it, put it on my shelf, or put it on a list for reads for next year around the holiday season, or at least the author. All right, so the first book that I want to discuss with you guys, got my little list here. First of all, let me show y'all my little journal notebook thing. Look at this. It has sunflowers on it. Is that not cute? An old co-worker / friend many moons ago bought me this because she knows that I love sunflowers, and I just love it. I adore it. I don't know where she got it from, but it is just so cute. Anyways, just wanted to show y'all that. All right, so the first one up on the list here is In a Holidays. Now that one was not on KU. They wanted you to purchase it, and who's not purchasing a holiday book is moi. So I did look at my local library for it and placed a hold on it. So when it becomes available, I will be reading it. I think there's like 14 holds on 9 copies of the ebook, and then like 13 holds on 7 copies of the physical book. So I may or may not get to it, just depends on how all those people read. But nonetheless, it's on my December hopefuls, and if I'm able to get to it, I will. And if I'm not missed about it. I'm trying to pull it up so that I can read to you guys the synopsis and show you what it's about. Oh, wait, pause real quick. I don't think I finished my intro. In this video, the dogs don't let me be great. The neighbor's dogs who bark all day long, y'all, no matter the time of the morning or night. Those dogs get on my nerves. So in this vlog, or in this video, you may hear dogs barking, unfortunately, or kids in the background. It is Christmas break, what can we do? Or Thanksgiving break, what can we do? Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and you already know you're watching Shelf Love with D. Thank you so much for joining me today. Alright, now let's get into these holiday books. This is the cover for In a Holidays. Here we go. And it is by Christina Lauren. Alright, so it says here, it's the most wonderful time of year, but not for Maitland Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going nowhere job, and has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all, this is the last time May will be at her favorite place in the world, the snowy Utah cabin where her and her family have spent every day since she was born, along with 2 other beloved families. Mentally melting down as she drives away from the cabin for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, tires screech, metal collides. Everything goes black. But when May gasps awake, she's on an airplane bound for Utah, where she begins the same holiday all over again. With one hilarious disaster after another sending her back to the plane, May must figure out how to break free of this strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. So that sounds like a cute and fun read, and again, not your typical story. I know it's going to have a happy ending. That doesn't bother me. That's expected in these Christmas books. But what I would like to be a surprise is the story itself. The happenings with the love interest and how that falls into place. I would like that to be different than what I've normally read in the past. All right, so the next book up is called Christmas in Spite of You, which is another. Now this one is a KU read. I had been seeing this for a few months now, and based off of the cover as well as the title, I was like, oh, I gotta jump into this one. So this is probably one of the ones that I'm looking most forward to reading. But it says, after pumping her hard-earned savings into a business plan that doesn't pan out, Noelle Anderson is left financially strapped and needs a way to earn money to stay afloat. She decides to rent her apartment as an Airbnb for the Christmas holidays while visiting her family for Christmas. What she didn't plan on was coming down ill and having to cancel the trip. Canton Joseph is on the cusp of securing a lucrative business deal. In order to get a one-up on his competition, he rents an Airbnb in the same apartment complex where his potential client resides. He's surprised when he shows up, and the owner of the Airbnb not only wants to cancel the reservation, but is still occupying the space. With great reluctance, Noelle and Canton agree to cohabitate for 1 week. Noelle attempts to stay out of Canton's way, but they undoubtedly cross paths, causing friction between them. They immediately clash on everything, most notably with their views on the holiday. Noelle is determined to have a very Merry Christmas despite her temporary housemate, which is the source of Canton's irritation. Eventually, the 2 begin to soften towards each other, of course, and Canton learns to view things through Noelle's eyes. So this sounds like a cute, fun read. I am going to also do some prediction of ratings, and I think that I will rate this one 4 stars. With that being said, I have been giving thought lately to doing away with the star system. My star rating, I just won't say isn't consistent, because I rate different books off different things and for different reasons and different feelings. And let's use The American Queen. Both talked about Happy Land and The American Queen both were about Happy Land, but they told the story differently. So I rated the efforts of the storytelling, if that makes sense. So I just feel like star ratings are not fair. Sometimes I may knock off a star simply because I felt like the ending didn't give me what I was looking for. Now, does that take away from how good the story actually was? It still was a good story. I just thought the ending should have been differently, or it was a good story, but I felt like the pacing was slow. So I don't know. I'm just getting to where I feel like star ratings maybe aren't a fair rating, and maybe I just might start sharing my thoughts versus stars. So how do you guys feel about the star ratings? I don't know. It's just I'm sharing my thoughts. Something I've been thinking on here lately, because I'm like, I can read a book that was like 200 pages and it was a stupid fun time, but because I enjoyed it so much, I might rate that 4 stars, and then turn around and read another book that is so deep, so intentional, so well paced and written, and rate it 4 stars. Like, how are they both 4 stars when one was like, this is so stupid over here, but I had a good time. And this one was so deep, profound. It changed my life, changed my way of thinking. I don't know. How can they both be 4 stars? So I don't know. That's just something that I've been thinking about. And I may, going into the new year, do away with the rating system and maybe base it off feelings. You know how they have at the hospital, like how that pain scale level. Maybe I will just start doing a emotion or feeling type rating versus stars. So that's just my little thought on that. Anyway, all right. So this one is called Second Chance Christmas, which is on KU. It is by Jaquel J. I think that's how you pronounce it. Here is the cover. How cute is that, right? All right. So it says here, being known as the daughter of the Sageport town drunk always left Faith stoned, defending her mother and herself. Her only solace was her boyfriend, Rome. Even as a teenager, Faith knew she wanted forever with Rome Atkins. Their small town, her mother's struggles, and everyone's opinions of their relationships couldn't hold them back forever. After graduation, they would put Sageport behind them and start a new life together. But prom night changed everything. 15 years later, Faith, now a divorced single parent, finds herself back in Sageport for the holidays. The memories and pain are still fresh, as if everything happened yesterday, especially when she runs into Rome, who never left Sageport. Also fresh are the unexpected lingering feelings they still harbor for each other. Do old wounds run too deep, or can the joy of Christmas provide enough healing power for a second chance love reunion? So this is not a new premise. This is one that I've read before, and especially in Christmas books. But I am interested to see a Black girl spin on it. I'm interested to see, how this unfolds. One of the things that kind of turned me off to Christmas books or holiday books is just that cheesy, corny feel, and I know that's what they're meant for. It's just not something I enjoy, and it's also, and if I do read one, I can only read a couple of them before I'm just kind of like cheesed out. So I am looking forward to reading this one and seeing, Miss Jaquel's spin on it. The next one up is, I want to say, a thriller, and that's another thing that is different. This year I tried to throw in other genres besides romance for Christmas. So some little, thriller, some mysteries and things like that. Or if it is romance, having a different spin on it besides it just happily ever after, everything is sunshine and rainbows. Like, I tried to pick, if I did get romance, I tried to choose some that had a bit more depth to them. And I know for holidays, you want light and fluffy, but I want light and fluffy plus a little depth, or plus some depth, to be honest. And I believe that you can find that. It's just going to take some research. And like I said, not to toot my own horn, but I think I have a pretty decent list. So anyways, the next one up is called Everyone This Christmas Has Secrets. All right, so this book is by Benjamin Stevenson, a new author to me. I'm not familiar with him at all, and it looks like this is a book 3, but I am assuming that you can read it as a standalone. So here's the cover. Not really much to look at, and a bit kind of corny, to be honest, but I'm hoping that the story makes up for that. It says, "My name's Ernest Cunningham. I used to be a fan of reading Golden Age murder mysteries until I found myself with a haphazard career getting stuck in the middle of a real life one. I'd hoped this Christmas that any self-respecting murderer would kick their feet up and take it easy over the holidays. I was wrong. So here I am, backstage at the show of a world-famous magician, Ryland Blaze, whose benefactor has just been murdered. My suspects are all professional tricksters, masters of the art of misdirection, the magician, the assistant, the executive, the hypnotist, identical twin, counselor, the tech. My clues are even more abstract. A suspect covered in blood without a memory of how it got there, a murder committed without setting foot inside the room where it happens, and an advent calendar because, it's Christmas. If I can see through the illusions, I know I can solve it. After all, a good murder is just like a magic trick, isn't it?" So this sounds fun. It is giving a little bit of, what is that magic movie? Now You See Me, with a little bit of Clue. So I think this might be a good read. I'm interested in seeing how this one unfolds. I definitely have to make sure I get to this. Y'all know from my previous vlog or video, I have 10 before the end. And then I have, I think, about 10 Christmas books. These I would actually like to get read. So that's 20 books by the end of the year. A lot of these are novellas, so I think it is possible if I don't fall into a slump and I can stay consistent in my reading. So we'll just give it a go. But if for some reason I don't get these read all by the end of December, I will still be reading them in January. So the next one up is called Love Me Again by Danielle. Yes, by Danielle Scroggins. It is called Love Me Again, a Louisiana Christmas, Book 1. So I love Louisiana. When I went to New Orleans for my birthday a few years back, it's imprinted on my heart forever. My husband is from Louisiana, so I was like, this is a must read. Let's check it out and see how the story unfolds, while possibly gaining a new author who I can, read in the future, read more books by in the future, hopefully. It says here that everyone knows the hardest thing to do is stay in the place where you've been hurt the most. And when I read that part, when checking into the book, it's what sold me. So I'm like, that's all I needed to read, but I'll read more for you guys. Everyone knows the hardest thing to do is stay in the place where you've been hurt the most. And Jay does what so many of us do, run. She left Louisiana with hopes of healing her heart, but she soon realizes pieces of her heart was left in the place she abandoned. Jasper Boots Jr. has never stopped loving Jade, but he's no longer waiting on her to make up her mind to come back home. Hopefully, a letter from an attorney will get her back to Louisiana where she belongs. Jessica Booth is planning the event of the century right on the field of the Shreveport Most Phenomenal Schools. My husband's from Shreveport. She's not only ushering in help for the children of a prominent hospital, but she also ushered in an atmosphere of love for her children. If you know anything about the people and families of Louisiana, you know they love easy, eat good food, and party hard. See what happens and love me again, because you may find yourself longing to have yourself a Louisiana Christmas. And I would love to go to Louisiana one year for Christmas. But anyway, so that sounds pretty good. All right, so next one up on the list is called Holly and Homicide, which is a book 2. It is by Alina Jacobs. And again, I'm just assuming that these could be read as a standalone, and hopefully so. All right, so it says, when your cheating husband drops dead in your cozy Christmas cat cafe, the proper response is not to shout, "I didn't do it." Showing up at his funeral with a plate of sympathy cupcakes after he'd just been poisoned by your signature Santa surprise confection is also not the correct response. To be fair, if your husband walked into your cafe unannounced after stealing your hard-earned money and moving his pregnant mistress into your home, most people would understand if you bashed him over the head with a frying pan. However, I would never defile eggnog cream filled with cyanide. Too bad. He had it coming. Now the whole town thinks I did it, including the hot lawyer who's visiting next door. And by next door, I mean visiting his great aunt who lives across from Gran in the retirement home where I had to move because my husband evicted me from my own house. Now this sounds like it's going to be good. That's all I'm going to read. There is more, but it's starting to kind of give away a bit more of the story as I'm going further into the synopsis. So I'm not going to read too much more of it, but I definitely look forward to reading this. So I'm looking down here. It shows up another one of her books. It's called Eating Her Christmas Cookies, a holiday romantic comedy. So if I really like Holly and homicide, I may check into that one as well. It seems like I'm going to like this author's writing style. All right, so next one up on the list, let's see, is Love Me for Christmas, Be Love. This is a new to me author. A lot of these are. I'm hoping by reading holiday books by authors who are new to me, it helps me to actually find new authors to read as well outside of just their holiday novels. So anyways, here is the cover. Very beautiful cover. I love when I see our people on the cover. Like I said, I think I was telling Brandy, I love when I see our people on the cover and they're rocking natural hair or locks or even the box braids. I love to see it. All right, so it says, what happens when the city's most successful matchmaker fails at securing her own love? Her best friend takes matters into her own hands, even if it's just for the Christmas holiday. Giselle has always had a knack for bringing two souls together. However, she's been too blind to see the needs of her own soul. When her best friend Ashton sets her up to finally put her own needs first, Giselle meets an unlikely match in Shaquille. So, that's all we're going to read there. We don't want to spill the beans too much. All right, next one up is Me and You for Christmas by Erica B. All right, we had to change positions a little bit. Legs was getting cold. All right, so it's called Me and You for Christmas by Erica B. KU Read. If you're interested in reading any of these, take a chance on it if you have KU, because they're on there at no extra cost to you. All right. Having someone to call her own is all Riley Thornton can focus on as the Christmas holiday approaches. Someone wants her, but he has shown her why he will never be an option again. Riley is close to losing hope, but someone she trusts with all her heart reminds her that the life she wants is closer than she thinks. It sounds like a cute little read. All right, so we're nearing to the end here. These next two books, we'll kind of talk about them jointly. Miss Bookmark by Aaliyah had told me about it. She is a huge Megan Quinn fan. I have not read any books by her just yet, but she loves Megan Quinn, and she told me that I have to read it. But to go into it, just with the mindset that it is ridiculous, it's funny, don't take it too seriously. What's her name? Shaughnessy Schroeder. She talked about this book and she didn't like it. So two booktubers who I watch and respect their opinion, they have different, opinion and ratings on this book. So it is just proof, or it just proves why we have to read books ourselves to see for ourselves, because people like different things. As they say, reading is subjective and objective. So what you may love, I may hate, and vice versa. But it's never a bad idea to see for yourself if you like a book or not. So the book first up in that series is called How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, Megan Quinn. I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with it and have probably read it. I have not read it, because as I said, I don't normally read holiday books. It says, living in a year-round Christmas town. All right, we're going to stick with it. Living in a year-round Christmas town has its drawbacks. The caroling, the decorations, the insanely cheery spirit, it never disappears. It's why I like to hibernate away in my house, keeping a healthy distance from the holly jolly spirits. And all was going according to plan until my nemesis Story Taylor moved in next door to care for her aunt. Without blinking, she turned my simple world into a real nightmare before Christmas, especially when she decided to enter the town Christmas Kringle contest, which she was determined to win. Well, guess what? Over my cold-hearted body. So we'll see how it goes. I know one of the things Miss Shaughnessy said that she didn't like was that it was like too many pranks. I did not know going into it that this is a Christmas town. It's so cheesy, so hallmarky, but we are going to give it a try and just see where it goes. So the next book up, or the book 2 of that, is Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. That is another Megan Quinn book. These are also on KU, so that is how I will be reading these. It says, Atlas Max did not sign up for this. One minute he's anxiously trying to keep his family's Christmas tree farm from imploding. The next he's passed out in the snow after getting clocked by a suspiciously strong bottle of soda. Enter Betty, new in town, full of holiday cheer, and helping her uncle open a rival tree farm next door. Max is convinced she's out to destroy everything Evergreen Farm stands for. Betty thinks Max might be one sleigh short of a winter parade. Cue the holiday chaos. Between blizzards, blown reputations, wildly misguided romantic plots, and one stolen ornament with a seriously tragic backstory, this small town war turns into something far messier and much more delicious than any of them expected. And this sounds a bit more up my alley, but we're going to read them both and just give them a fair chance. But I will say I feel more excited about reading Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal versus How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Plus, I love Home Alone, so my kids and I always, watch that every holiday season, and we do the Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. And what is it? Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. And a Happy New Year. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, we love Home Alone, so I'm looking forward to reading that. And then I have kind of like a bonus one, and this one is called Merry Inkmas. And I was like, okay, what piqued my interest with this book is so different from your typical holiday story. It's kind of darker. Even the cover, look at that. Even the cover is not like your typical Christmas tree ornaments, snow in the background. It's a little different. And based off the title, Inkmas, it has to do with like a tattoo artist or something like that. But anyways, it says here, Cash Evan knows exactly what he wants for Christmas. Too bad he can't have her. The infamous tattoo artist has been watching geeky Bailey Cooper for months. But that's all he'll ever do. Watch. Bailey's too sweet, too smart, too good for the likes of him, and he knows it. So Cash keeps his distance until a Christmas miracle makes him Bailey's boss. Socially awkward, Bailey learned long ago that men just aren't worth the hassle. Take her new boss, Cash. He's a brooding beast who avoids her like the plague, but he also fixes her plumbing, helps the homeless, and offers Bailey a place to stay for Christmas. She's never met anyone so confusing or so impossible to resist. And the more Bailey learns about Cash and his demons, the more she thinks it's time to stop fighting. This 50,000-word holiday romance features an alpha, mellow, bad boy hero, a strong, geeky heroine, a naughty office flirtation, and a guaranteed happily ever after. There's no cheating and no cliffhanger. All right, so this is by Talia Hibbert, or is it Talia Hibbert? New to me author, but definitely looking forward to checking this one out. This seems like right up my alley. It's kind of giving a bit more of that urban fiction type novel, and I've never read an urban fiction Christmas novel or holiday novel. So I'm going to predict that Merry Inkmas will be 3.75 to 4 stars. I'm going to rate How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, I'm going to say 3.75. We're going to do 3.5 for How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And then Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, we'll do 3.75. So I'm curious to see how close I was with my ratings. If the books that I thought I would love, I would end up hating, or if the books that I thought I would hate, I would end up actually enjoying the most. I will keep you guys posted. I'm no longer doing monthly wrap-ups. It just felt like double the work, double the talk of books that I've already kind of talked about throughout blogs and different things like that. But I think I will do either shorts, with just kind of like the rapid rating of like, here's the title and my star rating, or recommend, not recommend, or yes, no, maybe type thing, and short form, or just a very quick vlog where there's not a whole lot of talking. It's just kind of what the book was about. I mean, what the book is called with the cover and my star rating. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me know which book y'all think I should read first, because I am kind of torn. There were a few that sound pretty interesting. What book are you looking forward to reading for the holidays? Are you a person who reads the Christmas holiday books? Or are you like me, that you just kind of like, they're all the same, what's the point? If you are reading any of the holiday books, let me know down in the comments. Maybe there's some that I've missed that I may actually enjoy. Thank you guys for joining me today. As always, I appreciate all the interaction. Like, comment, and share, and subscribe. And per usual, never, ever, ever forget to show yourself some love today.